right, let's get started. So, take a look at your computer. Yesterday we talked about the three C's: consistency, conservation, and contrast, correct? So if you take a look at my slide presentation, you'll notice that I use consistent background, right? Okay. You'll notice that, well, I haven't done it yet, but I'm not going to fill up the entire slide with a whole bunch of pictures and a whole bunch of text. In fact, I only have 3 bullet points, and that's good enough for right here. I should probably make my text on this side just a little bit smaller. But I'm going to be going over special effects today. After you get your information on the page, now what can you do with it to make it really pop and really stand out? Okay, and you can use special effects. You can use special effects on pictures and text. All right, so you just have to make sure, number one, that you're consistent. Number two, that you use conservation, not too many special effects. All right, and it has enough contrast as well. But usually students that get points taken off are because they use too many different type of effects. You don't have to fill up the whole thing with special effects, but let's take a look. First thing we're going to look at is picture effects. I have my picture here. Here's my pug Larkin. And one of the first things you're going to notice is that he covers up the text. You guys see that? Okay. If you click on the picture tools button, whenever you click on a picture, this red picture tools tab will pop up. You can go over here to the arrange section and you can choose bring to front, but we want to send to back. So if I click on there and go send to back, voila, now he's behind the text. You guys see that? So if you ever want to do that, that's where it's at. It's right here in arrange. I get asked that question a lot. Okay, we talked about this yesterday, but we talked about resizing instead of stretching, right? And what key do you want to hold down to resize? You want to hold down shift and click on the corners to resize. What you don't want to do is to stretch. Do not do that, right? Larkin does not like to be stretched. Now, what graphics designers do when they first start class as well is when they stretch a picture, they realize they made a mistake, and so then they go to try to stretch it back, and then they do that. Okay? Instead, we can do a picture reset. And if you click on the picture and you're on this picture tools tab, you can go over here to the adjust section, and you can reset picture right there. That'll reset your picture to its original size, shape, and everything. You will not lose anything. No matter what you do to your picture, you can always reset it right there. Okay. Now, while we're over here in the adjust section, you may also want to brighten or darken your picture by using the brightness button right here. So if you notice, I'm brightening it up and it's getting a lot brighter, and it looks like it's kind of fading it out into the background a little bit. If you have really dark pictures, this is a good thing to do. If you have really bright pictures, you can also darken them up like that. Larkin's not going to like to be darkened up. He looks kind of like a little monster, huh? So again, if you click on one of these and you don't like it and you go on and you do some other stuff and you come back and it's not right, just click on your picture reset button right there. You can also control the contrast. I wouldn't play around with recolor right there. Don't play around with compress. Leave change picture alone for right now as well. We might get into that later. Next is this big box here, picture styles. Those are cool because if you put your mouse over it, in a couple seconds it'll pop up. It'll show you the special effect on that picture. So we got frames. We got some nice soft frames there. It'll even put them in a circle. Check that one out. And it puts like a little drop shadow on it. You can click on this down arrow and there's a whole lot of cool picture effects. Check that one out. Huh. Okay. So these are all in your computer built in. And again, you just want to be consistent. So if I were to put this picture effect, okay, if I were to put this picture effect on that picture, I'd need to go to every other picture in my presentation and give it that exact same effect. Okay, make sense? I'd also, again, like you just said, you want to make sure that the sizes are very similar as well. Okay, so instead of just slapping your pictures down that you got copied from the internet, give it an effect, and that'll make it stand out a lot better. Yeah.
So we can make the picture size any kind of size you want?
As long as it fits on your slide, and you can use conservation. So this picture on this slide is probably a little bit too big. I probably want to shrink it down a little bit just to conserve some space. Okay, but you'll want to make sure that they're consistently the same size.
And if they're not the same size, are they similar to it?
Yes, if they're not exactly the same size, they can be similar, as close as you can get. Okay. All right, we got picture tools there. This one is really, really cool. Picture shape. Check this one out. You can put your picture inside of a shape. Check that one out. Long time ago, there's no way we'd be able to do this with just a couple clicks of the mouse. Microsoft built a lot of this stuff in its latest few editions. Okay, and again, if you don't like it, you can always go back, click on your picture, reset, right there. So that's picture shape. You can put a border, picture effects. That's really good too. You can put like an outer glow, soft edges. Check that one out. You can fade out the edges, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so sky's the limit on this. It's just up to you guys to be consistent. And finally is crop. Can anybody tell me what crop means? What does crop do?
Cut out the edges that you don't like.
There you go. It cuts off the edges that you don't like. So here's the crop button. You might find yourself using that a lot. Instead of just making your picture smaller, what you can do is you can crop it down to size. So if you click on the crop button, now you can adjust these side little panels, and you can crop out parts of the picture that you don't want. Okay. So if you want to make your picture fit a specific area, save some more space, crop it down, and now you can still put these other picture effects on here as well. Okay, even after you've cropped it. All right. Now you can do the same thing with your text as well. You can put a lot of these same effects on your text. Now, instead of highlighting your text and going through and putting effects on that way, if you click on the frame that the text box is in, or excuse me, that the text is in, that entire text box, if you click on the frame, you can go up here and you'll make the adjustments to the whole box. So if I put a drop shadow on here, or if I change the size, or if I change the color, it'll do it all at the same time. Okay. You can also go back up here to where it says drawing tools, this tab, right where the picture tab, the picture effects tab was. And now you can apply these effects to your text as well. Check this one out, word art styles. Heard of word art? Let me make it a little bit smaller. There we go. So you're more than welcome to use these things right now. When we go to Illustrator and we go to Photoshop, I'm going to show you how to create these effects on your own. So you don't have to use word art anymore. But for right now, we're just learning PowerPoint. You're more than welcome to. I'm more concerned about your consistency though. So you can play around with these. If you have, let's say you got a dark background, or excuse me, you got to have a light background and your text is a lighter color, you can go in and you can put drop shadows on. You can fill in your text boxes with colors. Okay, anything just to help it stand out a little bit better. All right, and I think that's about it. So don't be scared to click on stuff. Don't be scared to click on buttons and see what things do. There's all kinds of shapes and arrows and all kinds of other boxes that'll help you out in the long run as well. Okay, question, yeah. Okay, so her question is, listen up, this is pretty important. Her question is, what if you want to make multicolored text? What's the problem with doing multicolored text? It may not be consistent. You may not be able to see some of the words because, especially on colored backgrounds, it has a tendency to blend in and blend out really often. Okay, so I would stick with plain text, and if you want to put a word art picture effect or something like that, that you can do. Okay, but you just want to make sure that you're consistent and that it's clear and easy to read. Okay, and be careful of situations like this where you have blue on blue, not enough contrast, right? So you want to make sure that you have enough contrast on your pictures and your text. Okay? How many slides do you need? 6 slides. That's exactly correct. When you come back from break, you can print these to the color printer when you're ready. Just let me know. Raise your hand and I'll come around and I'll show you. Okay? All right.